Morrison is trying to get past his dog. Rex is blocking the door. 80 pounds of muscle and fur planted in the doorway like a statue. Ears pinned back. Teeth showing. Not aggressive. Desperate. Rex, move. Now. The dog doesn't move. Outside, Morrison's squad is loading into Humvees. Patrol leaves in 4 minutes. Route clearance mission. Standard. They've done it 100 times. Morrison grabs Rex's collar. The dog resists. Plants his paws. Won't budge. What is wrong with you? Morrison's getting angry now. Rex has never disobeyed before. 3 deployments. Perfect record. And now this? Morrison forces past him. Shoves the door open. Steps outside. Behind him, Rex barks. What? Sure. Desperate. Morrison ignores it. He's already late. His squad is waiting. He climbs into the Humvee. Through the window he sees Rex. Standing at the door. Watching. And in 7 years, Morrison will realize that Rex knew something he didn't. His dog was trying to save his life. Just not from what Morrison thought. Helmand Province, Afghanistan. September 2011. Forward Operating Base Leatherneck. Sergeant Jake Morrison was 28 years old. Military police. K9 handler. This was his second deployment with Rex. Belgian Malinois. 4 years old. 82 pounds. Black and tan. The best bomb detection dog Morrison had ever worked with. They'd been partners for 18 months. 47 confirmed IED detections. 0 missed threats. 0 friendly casualties on their watch. Perfect record. Morrison loved that dog. More than he'd loved most people. Rex wasn't just a working dog. He was family. They ate together. Slept in the same room. Trained together every day. Morrison knew Rex's moods. His quirks. The way he tilted his head when he was confused. The way he pressed against Morrison's leg when he sensed danger. They had a bond. The kind of bond that only happens between handler and dog in a combat zone. Trust. Complete. Absolute. That morning started normal. Morrison woke up at 0500. Rex was already awake. Sitting by the door. Waiting. Morrison got dressed. Strapped on his gear. Body armor. Helmet. Sidearm. Checked the day's mission brief. Route clearance patrol. Highway 1. Standard sweep for IEDs. 6-man squad. Morrison and Rex would take point. They always did. Corporal David Chin. Specialist Mike Rodriguez. Private First Class Tommy Walsh. Staff Sergeant Chris Martinez. Captain Bill Stevens. Good men. Morrison had worked with all of them before. They trusted him. Trusted Rex. But when Morrison went to leash up Rex, the dog pulled back. Unusual. Rex loved patrol. Always excited. Always ready. This morning he seemed off. Morrison chalked it up to the heat. It was already 90 degrees. Helmand in September. Brutal. Come on, boy. Let's go. Rex didn't move. Morrison pulled on the leash. Rex resisted. Then came the door blocking. The refusal. The desperation. Morrison had never seen Rex act like this. Not in 18 months. Not once. Looking back, Morrison remembered other things from that morning. Small things. His chest felt tight. He'd woken up with a headache. Felt dizzy when he stood up too fast. Shortness of breath walking to the briefing. But he ignored it. Stress. Deployment stress. Everyone felt it. You push through. That's what soldiers do. You don't call in sick because you're tired. You don't skip patrol because your chest hurts. You do your job. So Morrison forced past Rex. And went to work. The patrol left at 0600. 3 Humvees. Morrison in the lead vehicle with Rex. Except Rex wasn't with him. Rex was back at the kennel. Still at the door. Morrison felt guilty about that. About forcing past him. About leaving angry. But there wasn't time to deal with it. The mission came first. They'd talk it out later. Maybe Rex needed a vet check. Maybe he was sick. Morrison would handle it after patrol. After the mission. They made it 200 meters down Highway 1. Morrison's Humvee in front. Captain Stevens behind. Chin and Rodriguez in the third vehicle. Standard formation. Standard speed. Morrison was watching the road. Looking for disturbances. Fresh dirt. Wires. Anything unusual. His chest still hurt. Tightness. Like someone was sitting on him. He rubbed it. Tried to breathe deep. Probably nothing. Stress. He kept driving. Then his radio crackled. Chen's voice. Hold position. We've got something. Morrison stopped. Looked in the rear view. The second and third Humvees had stopped. Chin was out of his vehicle. Checking something on the road. Morrison couldn't see what. He reached for his radio. Started to call back. Then the pain hit. Sharp. Intense. Like a knife in his chest. His vision blurred. He couldn't breathe. His left arm went numb. He tried to speak. Nothing came out. He was having a heart attack. Right there. In the lead Humvee. On Highway 1. 28 years old. Heart attack. Morrison slumped over the wheel. His driver, Private Walsh, grabbed him. Sergeant? Sergeant, are you okay? Morrison couldn't respond. Couldn't move. Walsh keyed the radio. We need a medic. Morrison's down. I think he's... The explosion cut him off. The IED detonated under the second Humvee. Massive blast. Buried in the road. Command detonated. Someone watching. Waiting. The vehicle lifted off the ground. Flipped. Came down on its side. Fire. Smoke. Screaming. Then secondary explosion. Third Humvee. Another IED. Chain reaction. Coordinated attack. Morrison was unconscious. Didn't see it. Didn't hear it. His heart had stopped. Walsh was doing chest compressions. Screaming for help. But there was no help. The second and third Humvees were gone. Everyone in them. Dead or dying. Captain Stevens. Dead. Corporal Chin. Dead. Specialist Rodriguez. Dead. Staff Sergeant Martinez. Badly wounded. Died in medevac. Private Jackson. Dead. Private Lee. Dead. 6 men. Morrison's squad. His friends. Gone. And Morrison survived. Because he'd had a heart attack 3 minutes before the IED exploded. Because he'd delayed at the kennel arguing with Rex. Because his dog wouldn't let him leave. Walsh saved Morrison's life. Got his heart started again. Called in medevac. Morrison was airlifted to Bugram. Then Germany. Then Walter Reed. Triple bypass surgery. 28 years old. Genetic heart condition. Nobody knew. He passed every physical. Every stress test. But the condition was there. Waiting. That morning in Afghanistan, it decided to kill him. And Rex knew. Somehow Rex knew. When Morrison woke up in Walter Reed, they told him about the squad. About the IED. About Chin, Rodriguez, Stevens, Martinez, Jackson, Lee. All dead. Morrison was the only survivor. Because he'd been delayed. Because of Rex. Everyone said the dog detected the IED. That Rex refused to let Morrison go because he knew. Military working dogs can do that. Sense danger. Detect threats humans can't. Rex had saved Morrison's life. That's what everyone said. That's what Morrison believed. And it destroyed him. Survivor's guilt. PTSD. Depression. Morrison spent 6 months in recovery. Physical therapy. Cardiac rehab. Psychological counseling. They medically discharged him. Sent him home. But home didn't feel right. He couldn't sleep. Couldn't eat. Couldn't stop thinking about his squad. About Chin laughing at breakfast that morning. About Rodriguez showing him pictures of his kid. About Stevens telling him the mission was routine. Safe. Morrison was alive because his dog delayed him. Because Rex wouldn't move. And 6 men were dead. Morrison requested Rex. Asked to adopt him. Brought him home to Virginia. Rex was his therapy. His anchor. The one thing that kept Morrison from falling apart completely. They walked every morning. Ran together. Rex slept in Morrison's room. Pressed against his side. Alert. Protective. Like he was still on duty. Still watching for threats. Morrison told everyone Rex was a hero. The dog who saved his life. People would stop them on walks. Thank Rex for his service. Morrison would smile. Say Rex was the best. And mean it. Because what else could he say? That his dog detected a bomb and Morrison's squad died anyway? That Rex saved him but couldn't save them? That Morrison lived with that guilt every single day? For 7 years that's how Morrison lived. With Rex. With the guilt. With the story everyone believed. Rex the hero. Morrison the lucky one. The survivor. They built a routine. Quiet life. No more military. No more combat. Just Morrison and Rex. Walks. Dog parks. Simple. Until Tuesday, March 13, 2018. Morrison came home from work. Called for Rex. No response. He found him in the living room. On his bed. Not moving. Morrison dropped to his knees. Checked for a pulse. Nothing. Rex was gone. Heart failure. 8 years old. Sudden. The vet said it happened fast. Peaceful. Rex didn't suffer. But Morrison did. The funeral was small. Military working dog cemetery in Virginia. Morrison buried Rex with full honors. Had a plaque made. Rex. Military working dog. 2010 to 2018. Hero. Saved countless lives. including mine. People came. Other handlers. Veterans. Strangers who'd heard the story. They all said the same thing. Rex was special. Rex knew. Rex was a hero. And Morrison stood there nodding, agreeing, dying inside. After the service, a woman approached Morrison. Dr. Sarah Williams. Military veterinarian. Retired. She'd known Rex. Worked with him in Afghanistan. She'd also performed Rex's autopsy. Required for all military working dogs. Standard procedure. She looked uncomfortable. Like she had something to say but didn't know how. Sergeant Morrison. Can we talk? In private? They sat in her car. Dr. Williams pulled out a file. Rex's medical records. I need to tell you something. About Rex. About the day he saved your life. Morrison tensed. Okay. Dr. Williams opened the file. Rex was one of the best bomb detection dogs I ever worked with. His record speaks for itself. But I've been reviewing the incident reports from 2011, the day of the IED attack. And I found something. She paused. Looked at Morrison. Rex didn't detect that bomb, Sergeant. The IED was too far down the road. Beyond his detection range. And based on the detonation pattern, it was command detonated. Triggered manually. There's no way Rex could have sensed it before you left the base. Morrison stared at her. Then why did he block the door? Why did he refuse to let me go? Dr. Williams pulled out another document. Morrison's medical file. You had a heart attack that morning. Genetic condition. But it wasn't sudden. Your body was in distress for hours before. Elevated heart rate. Irregular rhythm. Arrhythmia. Humans can't hear it. But dogs can. Especially dogs trained to be hyper-aware of their handlers. Rex didn't detect a bomb. He detected your heart failing. Morrison felt like the ground dropped out. What? Dr. Williams continued. Military working dogs bond with their handlers. They become attuned to everything. Breathing. Heart rate. Stress levels. Rex spent 18 months with you. He knew your baseline. That morning your heart wasn't normal. Rex heard it. He knew something was wrong. He tried to stop you from going on patrol because you were about to have a heart attack. Not because there was a bomb. Morrison couldn't speak. 7 years. 7 years believing Rex detected the IED. 7 years thanking him for the wrong thing. But the IED was real. My squad died. Dr. Williams nodded. Yes. But Rex didn't know about the IED. He was trying to save you from a medical emergency. The fact that delaying you also saved you from the blast? That was coincidence. Tragic coincidence. But Rex's behavior that morning had nothing to do with explosives. He was trying to keep you safe from your own body. Morrison sat there. Silent. Processing. Rex had been trying to warn him. Not about a bomb. About his heart. And Morrison had ignored him. Forced past him. If Morrison had listened, if he'd stayed back, called a medic, checked himself, maybe the patrol would have taken a different route. Maybe the timing would have changed. Maybe Chin, Rodriguez, Stevens, Martinez, Jackson, Lee would still be alive. Or maybe they'd have died anyway. But Rex wasn't trying to detect a bomb. He was trying to save Morrison. And Morrison had thought it was about the IED. Dr. Williams saw the look on his face. Sergeant, this doesn't change anything. Rex still saved your life. Just not the way you thought. And your squad's death? That's not on you. Or Rex. That's on the Taliban who planted those IEDs. On the war. Not on a dog trying to protect his handler. But Morrison couldn't hear that. All he could hear was Rex barking. That sharp, desperate bark as Morrison walked away. Rex trying one last time to warn him. And Morrison ignored it. Morrison went home. Sat in the dark. Looked at Rex's empty bed. His leash hanging by the door. His collar on the shelf. For 7 years, Morrison had told himself Rex was a hero because he detected a bomb. That Rex's training saved Morrison's life. That it was skill. Instinct. Professional. But the truth was different. Rex didn't save Morrison because he was a good bomb dog. He saved Morrison because he loved him. Because he could hear Morrison's heart failing and he was desperate to stop him from going. It wasn't training. It wasn't skill. It was love. And Morrison had spent 7 years thanking Rex for the wrong thing. He'd never thanked him for what really mattered. For caring enough to disobey. For loving his handler enough to block the door. Morrison pulled out his phone. Found an old video. Rex at the dog park. Running. Playing. Happy. Alive. Morrison watched it on loop. And for the first time in 7 years he let himself cry. Not for the squad. Not for the guilt. But for Rex. For the dog who heard his heart breaking and tried to save him. who died still trying to protect him, who never got to hear Morrison say thank you for the right thing, for loving him enough to refuse an order, for being more than a working dog, for being family. 2 months later, Morrison went back to the cemetery, stood at Rex's grave. The plaque still said hero. Saved countless lives, including mine. Morrison knelt down, put his hand on the stone. I got it wrong, buddy. For 7 years I thanked you for detecting a bomb. But that's not what you were doing. You weren't being a bomb dog that day. You were being my dog. You heard my heart failing and you tried to stop me. You tried to save me from myself. And I forced past you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't listen. Morrison's voice broke. But you did save me. Twice. You saved me from my heart. And you saved me from that IED. I don't care if it was coincidence. You blocked that door because you loved me. And that's what saved my life. Not your training. Just you. Morrison stood, wiped his eyes. They say dogs don't understand death, that they don't know what goodbye means. But you knew I was in trouble. You knew something was wrong. And you tried to stop me. That's more than most humans would do. So thank you. Not for being a hero. Not for detecting threats. Thank you for being my dog. For loving me enough to disobey. For trying to save me even when I wouldn't listen. I'll spend the rest of my life wishing I'd stayed at that door with you. But I'll also spend it knowing that you died still trying to protect me. And that's the greatest gift anyone's ever given me. Morrison visits the grave every month. Brings flowers. Tells Rex about his life. About the new job. The therapy that's finally working. The days when he doesn't think about the squad every waking moment. About the rescue dog he adopted last year. A shepherd mix named Scout. Scout isn't Rex. Nobody could be. But Scout's good. Loyal. Loving. And when Scout presses against Morrison's leg, Morrison listens. Always. Because he learned something from Rex. Dogs know things we don't. They hear things we can't. And when a dog you love refuses to move, maybe you should stay. Maybe you should listen. Maybe you should trust that they're trying to save you. Even if you can't see the threat. Even if it's inside you. Especially then. Rex died of heart failure at 8 years old. The same condition that almost killed Morrison at 28. Morrison likes to think Rex took it with him. That somehow in some way Rex's heart gave out so Morrison's could keep going. It's not scientific. It's not logical. But Morrison believes it anyway. Because that's what Rex did his whole life. He gave everything to protect Morrison. His training. His loyalty. His obedience. His life. And in the end his heart. The plaque at Rex's grave still says, hero. Morrison never changed it. Because it's true. Rex was a hero. Just not for the reasons Morrison thought. Not because he detected a bomb. But because he detected Morrison. Because he knew his handler was dying and he tried to stop it. Because when it came down to it, Rex wasn't a military working dog following orders. He was a dog who loved his human. And love doesn't need training. Love doesn't need commands. Love just knows. And Rex knew. God, he knew.